Part 1. The Lure of Nebula X asterisk. I'd never intended to be a tour guide through the stars, yet here I was, floating on the fringes of Nebula X, a swirling mass of cosmic wonder and unending chaos. The nebula was a beauty, sure, but a dangerous temptress that swallowed ships whole. It glittered maliciously from the viewport of my battered freighter, the rusty claw asterisk, like a siren in the dark. "Jack, you're staring at it again," Ella said, rolling her eyes as she fiddled with the navigation controls. Ella was my second-in-command, a hotshot pilot with a penchant for sarcasm and a knack for finding trouble in the places you'd least expect it. Her hair was a messy halo of red, perpetually frizzed by the ship's dodgy climate controls. I shrugged, feeling the familiar tug of curiosity. It's not every day you get to see the universe's biggest mystery up close without being sucked into its guts. "Technically, it is every day for us," muttered Griff over the comms, his voice crackling with static. Griff lived in the ship's engine room, mostly because he seemed to understand the ship's moaning and groaning better than any humanoid language. He claimed he could hear the engines speak, though I figured he just had a talent for tuning out the rest of us. "You marooned in there, Griff?" I asked. "Just patching up the hyperdrive again," came the reply. "Keep talking, it's like a lullaby." Ella turned to me, arching an eyebrow. "And here I thought your voice was only good for putting people to sleep." Ignoring her, I tapped the console, bringing up a holographic map of the area. We were parked in the shadow of an asteroid belt, our plunder hidden from prying eyes. At least, I hoped it was hidden. Our client, a shady operator known only as Whisper, had requested discretion. Apparently, some artifacts were best kept out of official shipping manifests. "Coordinates are set," Ella announced. "We ready to make contact." "Contact," I repeated, feigning innocence. "I thought we were here for the sightseeing." Ella snorted, turning back to her console. "Well, hold your breath and wish upon a star. Here, hoping Whisper and his merry band of ne'er-do-wells don't cut it short." The comm screen flickered to life, a grainy image of Whisper materializing. His silhouette was familiar, a figure cloaked in shadow with a voice that slithered through the static like smoke. "Captain Mercer," Whisper drawled, "right on schedule." "Whisper," I acknowledged, folding my arms. "Got what you wanted. The crates are prepped for transfer." Whisper's hologram flickered, his eyes narrowing to slits. "And no complications, I trust." "Well, there was a minor dust-up with some scavengers," I admitted, "but nothing we couldn't handle." "Good," Whisper's form wavered, hints of a ship's bridge visible behind him. "Proceed to the rendezvous point. Payment will be processed upon receipt." "A pleasure doing business," I said dryly. The screen went dark, leaving us adrift in the eerie silence of space. Ella exhaled deeply. "That guy gives me the creeps. Always sounds like he's got one foot in a void somewhere." "His creds are solid," I replied, steering our course through the asteroids. "And we need them if we're going to afford parts that won't break in a stiff breeze." Ella patted the console affectionately. "The old girl's holding together, Jack. No worries." Just as the unease slipped from my shoulders, everything went wrong. The ship jerked violently, alarms blaring. The lights flickered, bathing us in an unsettling crimson glow. "Jack," Griff's voice was a burst of static and urgency. "We've got company. Unidentified ship just dropped out of warp." I shot a look at the radar, my heart skipping a beat. An ominous blip was fast approaching, its trajectory locked on us. "What kind of ship, Griff?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Not one I recognize," he replied. "But it's big, frigate class, maybe bigger." "Ella, get us moving. Now," I barked, my pulse racing. Ella's hands flew over the controls as the rusty claw shuddered to life. weaving through the asteroid field like a dance of desperation. The pursuing ship loomed closer, a hulking shadow of metal and menace. They fired, a shower of projectiles slicing through the void, sending shockwaves through our hull. Ella swore under her breath, wrestling the ship away from danger. My hands gripped the armrest so tightly my knuckles whitened. "Brace for impact," I yelled, trying to keep my composure as another volley struck us. The ship lurched, alarms screaming in protest. There was a moment of weightless chaos as I was thrown from the seat, tumbling into the console. Stars danced in my vision. I could hear Ella's voice, distant and distorted, pulling me back from the edge. "Jack, you with me?" "I'm here," I croaked, forcing myself upright. "Griff, status report." "Incoming fire breached the aft compartment. We're venting atmosphere." "Patch it now," I ordered. D racing to recalibrate the shields. My fingers flew over the controls, adrenaline sharpening every sensation. Ella whipped the ship through a narrow asteroid gap, the glow of enemy thrusters brightening behind us. "Can't keep this up, Jack." "We only need to outpace them till we hit the gas cloud," I said, forcing a grin. "Then we're one with the mist." The frigate closed in, its weapons charging for a final strike. I could almost feel the heat of impending doom simmering beneath my skin. And then out of the nebula, a miracle of madness emerged. A colossal structure, its architecture spiraling in defiance of logic, burst into view, an alien megastructure, draped in the shifting colors of the nebula. "Ella, change course," I shouted, pointing to the alien sanctuary. "Head for that." "Are you insane?" she cried, but her hands obeyed, pulling the ship toward salvation. The frigate hesitated, unwilling to follow us into the maw of the unknown. We plunged into the neon abyss, the colors folding around us like a kaleidoscope of dreams and nightmares. Then everything fell silent. I slumped back in my seat, breathless, exhilarated, and suddenly very aware of how close we'd come to being another lost cause in the cosmic ledger. "Next time you want to sightsee, Jack, maybe pick somewhere without homicidal escorts," Ella teased, attempting to laugh but sounding just as rattled as I felt. I closed my eyes, letting the irony of survival wash over me in shades of brilliance and disbelief. We de-escaped, for now, swallowed whole by the mystery of Nebula X's heart. Something told me this was just the beginning. Part 2, Into the Spiral Asterisk. When I opened my eyes, the vast architecture of the alien megastructure loomed around us, its spiraling forms defying conventional geometry. It floated serenely amidst the volatile beauty of Nebula X, like a forgotten dream caught in the cosmic drift. My heart, still pounding from our narrow escape, gradually settled into a slower beat, tension giving way to a profound sense of awe. "Jack," Ella murmured, her voice hushed as if afraid to disturb the silence. "Where the hell are we?" "Somewhere new," I replied, unable to tear my gaze from the intricate patterns etched into the structure's surface. A language, maybe, or just an enigmatic design left by those who vanished ages ago. And hopefully nowhere Whisper's friends care to follow. Griff's face appeared on the comm screen, streaked with oil and sweat. "I've patched the breach, but we're running on fumes. Whatever this place is, it better have a landing pad." "Yeah, well, they forgot to include a welcome sign," Ella said, fiddling with the sensors. "I'm picking up energy readings, though. Looks like this thing's still alive." Alive, the notion sent a shiver down my spine. "Ella, ease us in. Let's find somewhere to dock." She nodded, piloting us closer with the careful touch of an artist approaching a blank canvas. The ship glided toward what appeared to be an entry point, a vast maw yawning wide to accept us. As we entered, the harsh exterior light dimmed, replaced by a soft, luminescent glow emanating from the walls. It was like being inside an enormous, gently pulsing heart. "Landing gear engaged," Ella confirmed. "We're down." "Finally," Griff grumbled, emerging from the engine room wiping his hands on a rag. "Thought I'd be stuck breathing recycled air till Kingdom Come." I stood, feeling the subtle quiver of the ship settling into place beneath my boots. "All right, team, gear up, we're going exploring." Ella and Griff exchanged glances, excitement mingling with apprehension. There was something about the unknown that set the soul alight, even as it terrified. We suited up, securing gear and holstering weapons just in case. The airlock hissed open, and we stepped into the echoing chamber of the structure. The air was rich and breathable, with a faint scent of ozone. I breathed it in deeply, marveling at the magnitude of the space. "Feels like we're trespassing," Griff remarked, eyeing the towering walls with a mix of suspicion and wonder. We moved cautiously through the corridors, our footsteps resonating. The architecture was unlike anything we had encountered, organic, yet constructed. Occasionally, flickers of light would chase themselves along the walls, guiding us deeper into the heart of the megastructure. Ella halted suddenly, holding up a hand. "You hear that?" A hum, low and rhythmic, vibrated through the air. It was coming from a chamber up ahead, drawing us in with its siren call. We stepped into the vast room, and my breath caught in my throat. In the center stood an obelisk, suspended in midair, its surface alive with shifting patterns. The hum emanated from it, resonating within my chest, beckoning me closer. "Whatever that is, it's powerful," Griff said, his voice tinged with awe. "Should we touch it?" "Seems rude not to," Ella replied with a smirk, her fingers itching toward the mesmerizing structure. My hand hovered over the obelisk, feeling the energy ripple through the air. But before I could make contact, a sudden movement from the shadows caught my eye. I jerked back, heart hammering. "Hold up," I warned, gesturing toward the figure emerging from the dim light. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen, an alien creature, its form a delicate lattice of crystalline filaments, refracting light in iridescent hues. It hovered silently, an ethereal wisp of intelligence and curiosity. "Do you think it's dangerous?" Ella whispered, her voice barely audible. "It hasn't blasted us yet," Griff quipped, though his grip on his blaster was steady. I took a careful step forward, offering what I hoped was a non-threatening gesture. The creature responded by extending a tendril, its surface shimmering with color. My heart raced, a magnetic pull urging me to connect. Against every instinct screaming caution, I reached out. As soon as my fingers brushed its surface, a jolt of understanding coursed through me, a rush of images, emotions, and concepts flooding my mind. The creature's consciousness enveloped mine, sharing its history, its longing, its solitude amid the stars. It's alone," I breathed, overwhelmed by the flood of empathy. "It's been waiting here for us, or someone like us." Ella's eyes widened, and even Griff seemed momentarily struck silent. The connection faded, leaving me breathless and reeling. The creature retreated, its form dissolving into the ambient light, leaving us in an awed silence that buzzed with newfound purpose. Ella broke the spell first. "So what now?" "Captain." My mind whirled with possibilities, the weight of discovery and duty mingling with the thrill of the unknown. "We learn. This place, it's a library, a beacon. We're meant to find something here." As we turned to explore further, the very structure seemed to shift subtly, guiding us with flickering trails of light. Our journey through the megastructure was just beginning, and with it, the promise of unraveling its secrets, both the ones it held and the ones it whispered into the very fabric of our being. And somewhere in the shadows of that alien sanctuary, both comfort and danger awaited. Part 3: Echoes of the Past. The luminous trails of light led us deeper into the heart of the megastructure, a kaleidoscope of colors dancing on the walls as if time itself were alive here. With each step, the hum of the obelisk faded, replaced by a symphony of whispers that echoed through the corridors, 1,000 voices overlapping, charging the air with a palpable tension. Griff kept close, eyes darting around like a hawk. Anyone else feel like we're in a haunted house attraction, only, in space and actually haunted. Ella chuckled softly, her gaze firmly ahead. At least it's better than getting shot at by that frigate, though I'm not entirely sure which is less terrifying. I didn't respond, lost in thought. The images the alien creature had shared still swirled in my mind, fragments of its history, its loneliness, a silent plea woven into the fabric of its existence. A plea that resonated too deeply, too personally. We reached another chamber, this one larger, its ceiling stretching into shadowed heights. The walls were lined with crystalline structures resembling shelves, each one filled with shimmering orbs that pulsed gently, like the heartbeat of some forgotten entity. I approached cautiously, drawn to their glow, feeling the weight of history pressing down on me. Ella picked up one of the orbs, cradling it in her hands like a delicate treasure. "What do you think these are? Memories? Records?" "Maybe both," I murmured, reaching for another. As soon as my fingers touched it, a wave of sensation crashed over me, sights, sounds, and emotions from a civilization long lost to time. A city of spires reaching towards an alien sky. Laughter and song, now echoes in the silent void. I staggered back, the orb slipping from my grasp, only to be caught deftly by Griff. "Steady there, Captain. Looks like you're diving headfirst into history." "It's overwhelming," I admitted, shaking my head to clear the haze. "These are archives, a record of everything they were, everything they hoped to be." Ella gently placed her orb back, a shadow of sadness crossing her features. "And now they're gone, but why? What happened to them?" Before I could answer, a shudder ran through the room, the air thrumming with energy. The walls flickered, the lights dimming momentarily before stabilizing. A warning, perhaps, or a signal that we had ventured too far beyond the veil of what was meant to be uncovered. Griff tensed, his voice low. "We've overstayed our welcome, time to head back." Reluctantly, I nodded. We retraced our steps, the whispers following us, carrying secrets and mysteries we could barely comprehend. As we neared the entrance, the crystalline creature reappeared, a specter of light and intention. It hovered before us, its tendrils reaching out, and I felt its presence brush against my mind once more. This time there was urgency, a sense of warning. The images it shared were fractured, chaotic, a great darkness consuming stars, an impending threat that loomed just beyond our understanding. "We need to go," I said, urgency tinging my words. "Whatever it's warning us about, it's coming." Ella and Griff exchanged worried glances, but their trust was implicit. We hurried back to the rusty claw asterisk, the doors of the megastructure sealing behind us with a finality that echoed through my bones. Once aboard, Griff headed straight for the engine room, his fingers flying across the controls. "Prepping for takeoff. Get ready, this might be a bumpy ride." I slid into the captain's seat, feeling the familiar contours embrace me. Ella took her place beside me, her gaze sharp and determined. "Coordinates." "Anywhere but here," I replied, keying in the navigation. "We plot a course back to known space, fast." The engines roared to life, the ship shuddering as it lifted off the ancient ground. As we ascended, the megastructure began to recede, its shadow stretching across the nebula like a guardian. For a moment, I thought I caught a glimpse of the crystalline creature watching us from the entrance, a solitary sentinel against the infinite night. Then it was gone, swallowed by the swirling depths of Nebula X. The ship surged forward, breaking free from the gravitational pull of the structure, stars streaming past the viewports in a dizzying blur. My heart pounded with a mix of exhilaration and fear, the unknown stretching out before us like a vast, unwritten chapter. "Jack," Ella said, her voice cutting through the rush, "do you think we'll ever understand what we just saw?" I glanced at her, the weight of the galaxy resting on my shoulders. Maybe, maybe not. But what matters is we try to remember to learn. Because if there's one thing I've learned out here, it's that the universe is full of echoes. And sometimes those echoes need us to listen. As the stars swirled around us, I felt the ship settle into its rhythm, a heartbeat against the cosmos, ready to carry us toward whatever awaited in the vast, uncharted ocean of the night. The future was uncertain, the course uncharted, but with every beat of the rusty claw *S engine, I felt the pulse of possibility, the pull of discovery. And for now, that was enough. Part 4: The Cosmic Waltz. Days outran us as we sailed through the endless black, the haunting beauty of the alien megastructure lingering like a dream half-remembered. The cabin lights of the rusty claw bathed us in a familiar glow, a steady rhythm that became our sanctuary amidst the unfathomable vastness. We were heading back to known space, though I couldn't shake the feeling that the universe was watching, marking the moment we stepped across its ancient doorstep. The void had a curious way of keeping secrets, and I had a sense we'd only scratched the surface. "Jack, you awake over there?" Ella's voice crackled gently through the cockpit, drawing me from my thoughts. "Barely," I replied, staring out at the star-specked void. "It's hard to sleep when you've got a head full of aliens and cosmic mysteries." Ella snorted softly. "Aye, Captain, sleep's for the grounded anyway. Us spacefarers have more pressing engagements." I allowed myself a chuckle, the sound of balm in the quiet. Griff joined us, a mug of steaming something or other clutched in his surly grip. He sank into the chair across from me, his gaze hooded yet alert. "Got that contraption purring like a kitten," he said, gesturing vaguely in the direction of the engine room. "Though if I don't see a real mechanic soon, I might start talking to the walls." "Just the walls," I teased, running a hand through my unruly hair. "Thought you'd moved on to naming the pipes." Griff grinned, the briefest of twinkles in his eye. "Pipes don't talk back, usually." Ella shook her head, a small smile playing on her lips. "Well, as delightful as our existential crisis is, I've picked up something on long-range sensors. Unusual energy signature. Might want to have a look-see." Her tone was light but tinged with a seriousness we all felt. The universe had already shown us wonders beyond imagining, and yet it seemed determined to keep placing curiosities on our path. I leaned forward, studying the readouts. A pulse, faint but consistent, beat across the screen. It wasn't anything I'd seen before, and that made it all the more intriguing. "Is it calling us?" I asked aloud, half joking but feeling the weight of possibility. "We'll find out soon enough," Ella replied, steering us toward the anomaly. The ship responded with a hum of anticipation, the engines whispering secrets only they understood. As we drew closer, a structure emerged from the void, unlike any we'd encountered before. A colossal ring, forged of metal and stone, suspended in space like a forgotten relic of some long-departed race. "Another alien artifact," Griff mused, eyeing it with characteristic skepticism. "Looks more like a cosmic turntable," Ella said, her humor a welcome reprieve from the heavy unknown. Think they like to dance. Let's hope they were friendly dancers, I murmured, guiding the ship into position. As we orbited the ring, its size became apparent. It was a marvel of engineering, an intricate lattice of pathways and nodes that stretched impossibly far. Jack, there's a central chamber, Ella pointed out, marking the location on the display. Think it's worth a closer look. I hesitated, a sense of déjà vu settling over me. But curiosity is a relentless companion, one that refuses to be silenced. Let's check it out, I decided, and Ella maneuvered the ship into alignment. We donned our gear once more, the thrill of discovery mingling with a quiet trepidation. The airlock cycled open, and we stepped onto the ring. It was eerily silent, the kind of silence that pressed against your ears and made you feel small. My footsteps echoed as we approached the entrance to the central chamber, its door a mechanical monolith that parted with a whisper of ancient air. Inside, the chamber was a cathedral of light and shadow. Streams of energy coursed along the walls, weaving patterns that shifted with an enigmatic logic. In the center, a dais held a pulsating crystal, its glow casting prismatic hues across the room. Ella moved closer, her eyes wide with fascination. This place, it feels alive. I nodded, the sense of vitality palpable. Griff approached the crystal, his hand tracing the air above it, reverent yet wary. Feels like it's thinking, like it knows we're here. Before I could respond, a sudden shift in the chamber's energy sent a ripple through the air. The glow intensified and the patterns on the walls accelerated, a kaleidoscope of motion and light. Jack, Ella's voice was tight with concern. Whatever we did, it seems to be reacting. We need to get back to the ship, I said, urgency rising. This is more than we bargained for. But as we turned to leave, a burst of light erupted from the crystal, enveloping us in a cascade of brilliance. It was like being caught in a storm of stars, each fragment a story, a memory, an echo of lives beyond reckoning. And in the midst of the light, a presence vast and ancient, a consciousness that brews. Hidi against my mind, with the gentleness of a sigh. Welcome, travelers, it spoke, not in words but in emotions and images, a tapestry of intent. You have come far, and the journey is yet to begin. I struggled to comprehend, to respond, but the light faded as quickly as it had come, leaving us breathless and reeling. Ella looked at me, her eyes wide with both fear and wonder. What just happened? I don't know, I said, my voice shaky, but I think we've been chosen, for what I have no idea. As we retreated to the ship, the weight of the cosmic encounter settled over us. The universe had more in store than we could fathom, and as we set our course into the unknown, the paths of destiny seemed to shimmer like a cosmic waltz, weaving all of us into its grand design. Part 5. The Harmony Within. The weight of the encounter lingered with us, an echo of stardust woven into our thoughts as we slipped away from the enigmatic ring. The universe felt larger, more intricate, and yet somehow we were connected to its mysterious clockwork. Each thrum of the rusty claw's engines seemed to reverberate with a new purpose, a new path laid out before us in the cosmic expanse. Ella sat quietly by the viewport, her reflection a mosaic of light and shadow against the backdrop of infinity. So, we're chosen, she mused, a mixture of skepticism and intrigue coloring her tone. Griff, sprawled in his usual spot with an air of nonchalance masking deeper thoughts, snorted softly. Chosen for what, though? To stumble through the stars hoping we figure out where we're supposed to be. Something like that, I replied, half smiling at the absurdity of it all. Whatever it is, it feels like we're moving in the right direction. Or at least a direction, Ella added with a wry grin, tapping the console in front of her. Picking up a signal. It's weak, but there's something out there calling us. I leaned forward, eyes narrowing as the display revealed a distant blip, barely more than a whisper against the cosmic noise. Another distress beacon. Ella adjusted the sensors, fine-tuning the readout. No, this one's different, like it's singing, kind of like a melody. Griff raised an eyebrow. And you're sure it's not just this ship's constant groans playing tricks on your ears? Ignoring his jibe, I focused on the coordinates. The signal was coming from a nebulous region, dense with stellar debris, a place where ships seldom ventured, preferring to keep their hulls intact. Let's take a look, I decided, the spark of curiosity reigniting. As Ella charted our course, I felt a tug within me, an inexplicable pull towards the unknown call. The journey was turbulent, the ship navigating through the debris field with the grace of a dancer threading through a storm. The closer we drew to the signal, the more it expanded, a harmony resonating through our very bones. We emerged into an open space, a celestial stage where an abandoned station hung, its structure a web of gleaming metal and forgotten purpose. It floated serenely, a solitary sentinel against the backdrop of nebulae swirling in ethereal hues. Looks like we found our siren, Griff noted, scrutinizing the station with a mix of wonder and wariness. Ella angled the ship towards it, her fingers dancing over the controls. Let's just hope it's not the kind that lures sailors to their doom. We docked at the station, and the airlock cycled open with a hiss that seemed almost welcoming. Stepping inside, we were greeted by a symphony of quiet, punctuated by the soft hum of ancient machinery. Everything was suffused with an amber glow, as if the walls themselves were alive, humming a song only they could hear. The corridors stretched out before us, inviting yet enigmatic. As we moved deeper, the station seemed to pulse with a gentle rhythm, each step drawing us further into its embrace. Ella paused, listening intently. There it is again, that melody. I strained to hear it, a faint, haunting tune that wove itself through the station's very fabric. It was a song of ages, full of longing and loss, hope and despair. And beneath it all, a plea, a call for understanding. We followed the melody to a central chamber where a colossal apparatus dominated the space. It resembled an organ of light, with vast crystalline pipes that shimmered and sang to an unseen conductor. Griff approached cautiously, his gaze riveted by the sight. What kind of instrument is this? Ella's eyes widened with realization. It's not just an instrument, it's an archive. The song, it's their history, their knowledge, all encoded in music. My heart swelled with the enormity of it, a civilization's legacy, preserved in symphony long after voices were silenced. But as we watched, flickers of instability marred the harmony, the melody faltering as the apparatus struggled to maintain its song. It's breaking down, I said, urgency lacing my words. We need to stabilize it. With a silent nod, we moved as one, Ella and Griff working the controls, deciphering the alien language, while I connected the dots, piecing together the fragments of a culture that refused to be forgotten. The station responded like a living thing, its melody swelling as we worked. The room filled with light and sound, an aurora of emotion that resonated deep within my soul. As the song reached its crescendo, I felt a familiar presence brush against my mind, the same consciousness from the ring, whispering gratitude, camaraderie, and a shared destiny. The universe unfolded before me, a tapestry of paths and possibilities. And then, as quickly as it had begun, the music faded, settling into a gentle hum that lingered in the air like a remembered dream. We stood in the Aftermath, breathless and moved, the weight of what we'd achieved settling over us like stardust. Ella broke the silence, her voice soft but triumphant. "We did it. We gave them back their song." Griff nodded, a rare glimmer of pride in his eyes. "And maybe learned a few notes ourselves." I breathed deeply, the air tinged with the remnants of melody. The universe was vast and uncharted, full of echoes and stories waiting to be heard. And as we returned to the rusty claw, I knew we'd only just begun to understand the harmony within the stars. The journey ahead was uncertain, but with each new discovery, the melody of the cosmos played on, a guiding light in the endless night. Part 6, Convergence Point. The melody still hummed through our veins as we left the station, a lingering chord in the symphony of our journey. The cosmos felt grander, each star a note in the sprawling composition we'd only begun to comprehend. But as we drifted deeper into the unknown, a new layer of reality began to unfurl, urging us onward to unimagined horizons. Ella's dexterous hands guided the rusty claw back through the debris field, the ship now a willing instrument in the hands of a maestro. "Feels like we've become cosmic curators or something," she mused, glancing at me with a grin that mirrored the starlit gleam in her eyes. Griff, never one to miss an opportunity, chimed in from his perch across the way. "Curators with a knack for poking into things better left unprodded, you mean?" I laughed, the sound warming the cabin like a shared toast. "That's our specialty, isn't it? Speaking of which," I trailed off, my attention shifting to a new alert flashing on the control panel. Ella's gaze followed mine, her expression sharpening with curiosity. "What's that about?" "It's a message," I replied, tapping the interface. "Looks like we've got mail from Whisper." The name itself brought a chill to the air, a reminder of shadows and secrets winding through the fabric of our mission. Whisper had been a crucial part of our tangled web, and his reappearance was both expected and unsettling. I opened the transmission, Whisper's voice slithering through the comms like smoke. "Captain Mercer, I trust you've been enjoying your cosmic escapades." "Enjoy is a strong word," I muttered, earning a snort of agreement from Griff. "What do you need, Whisper?" His silhouette flickered on the screen, shadowed as always. "I have a proposition, a convergence point that requires your particular set of skills, an intersection of the past and future, if you will." Ella's eyes narrowed, suspicion threading through her words. "And what's in it for us?" "Knowledge," Whisper replied smoothly. "And perhaps a chance to understand what you've been caught up in. It's a win-win, as they say." I hesitated, sensing undercurrents of manipulation beneath his offer. But the lure of discovery was irresistible, a siren song we could not deny. "Send the coordinates," I said finally. "We'll consider it." Whisper's form diminished, leaving only the faint echo of his parting words. "I look forward to your arrival." With the coordinates now unlocked, Ella guided us toward the designated point. As the ship surged into motion, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being drawn into something far larger than we understood. Hours later, we dropped out of warp near a vast nebula, its swirling tendrils dazzling against the black. Nestled within, a space station glittered like a jewel, sleek, sophisticated, a masterpiece of engineering that seemed almost out of place amidst the cosmic chaos. "Welcome to the convergence point," Griff remarked, a note of admiration in his usually gruff voice. Ella brought us in, docking smoothly against the station's inviting berth. As we disembarked, the station's interior opened before us, a world of metal and light. It was bustling with life, a hub of activity that thrummed with purpose. We were met by a figure whose presence seemed to command the very air around him, an imposing man with eyes like polished glass, reflecting the secrets of the universe. "Captain Mercer, I presume," he greeted, his voice resonant with authority. "That's me," I replied cautiously. "And you are?" "Aldrin," the man introduced himself with a nod, his demeanor both welcoming and enigmatic. "Whispers liaison. He speaks highly of your capabilities." "Not sure if I should be flattered or worried," I quipped, earning a chuckle from Ella. "Perhaps both," Aldrin said, leading us through the station. "The convergence point is a nexus of sorts, a place where paths intersect. It's no coincidence you've been drawn here." Griff glanced around, taking in the sophisticated architecture. "And what exactly are we converging for?" Aldrin paused at a viewing platform that overlooked the nebula, its colors swirling like a cosmic ballet. "The station is an observatory, monitoring a region of space where anomalies have been increasing at an unprecedented rate. Patterns, signals, echoes, all converging towards something significant." I stared out at the nebula, a feeling of destiny settling over me. "And you think we're part of this convergence?" "I know you are," Aldrin replied, his gaze piercing through layers of time and space. "Your recent encounters, the megastructure, the musical archive, they are ripples within the same fabric, woven into the tapestry you're meant to unravel." Ella leaned closer, her curiosity as fierce as a supernova. "And what's the end game here? What happens when everything converges?" Aldrin's expression was unreadable, a mix of hope and caution. "That remains to be seen, but if we're core, CT, it could redefine our understanding of the universe itself." As we stood on the precipice of possibility, the nebula's light painting us in shades of wonder and uncertainty, I felt the weight of our journey settle into place. We were no longer just travelers or explorers, but participants in a cosmic dance that spanned epochs and galaxies. With each step forward, the stakes soared, our path winding through the hearts of stars and the echoes of civilizations. And as we embraced the challenge ahead, the universe beckoned us onward, a symphony of destiny resonating through the endless night. Part 7: The Veil of Infinity. We lingered at the station's viewing platform, the nebula's luminescence casting a surreal glow across our faces. The silence felt sacred, as if the very air held its breath, waiting for us to unlock the secrets of this convergence. The patterns, the echoes, the anomalies, all swirling toward a single, unifying truth that lay just beyond our grasp. Aldrin broke the silence, his voice a thread weaving through the cosmic tapestry. "There's a region ahead, an area we've designated as the Veil of Infinity. Our instruments detect a phenomenal energy buildup. It resonates with the artifacts you've encountered, a pulse that echoes your journey." "Well, isn't that reassuring?" Griff murmured, squinting at the nebulous expanse. Despite the sarcasm, I could tell he felt the pull of curiosity as strongly as I did. Aldrin nodded, unfazed. "It is a place of immense significance, a focal point in this celestial web. Our goal is to understand its nature before the convergence reaches its peak." Ella leaned against the railing, the nebula's glow reflecting in her eyes. "And what do you need from us specifically? We're explorers, not scientists." "Your intuition, your connection to the anomalies," Aldrin replied without hesitation. "You have a knack for uncovering truths where others see only chaos, and perhaps your presence here is part of the convergence itself." I absorbed his words, feeling the weight of them settle into the groove of my thoughts. The universe was a vast symphony, and somehow we were being asked to play our part. "When do we head out?" Aldrin gestured toward a nearby docking bay where a sleek, silver craft awaited. "The vessel has been prepared for your journey. It is equipped with advanced analytical tools and a navigational matrix designed for the Veil. You will not be alone." As if summoned, a figure emerged from the shadows, a woman, lean and graceful, her stride confident and purposeful. "Captain Mercer, meet Lyra. She's our resident expert on anomalous phenomena." Lyra's eyes met mine with an intensity that was both intriguing and unsettling. "I've heard a lot about you," she said, her voice smooth as polished steel. "And your crew." "Good things, I hope," Ella interjected, her eyebrow quirked with amusement. "Mostly," Lyra replied, a hint of a smile softening her features. "But mostly I'm impressed by your fortitude. These are strange times." Aldrin gestured for us to follow, and we made our way toward the waiting craft. The ship's hull glistened under the station lights, a promise of speed and innovation wrapped in elegance. As we boarded, I felt the familiar thrumming of anticipation. The ship's interior was sophisticated, a blend of functionality and comfort that made Asterisk the rusty claw feel like a bygone relic of a time long past. Griff whistled appreciatively, running a hand along the control panel. "Now this is what I call an upgrade." Ella settled into the pilot's seat, her fingers brushing over the controls with reverent curiosity. "Let's see what this beauty can do." Lyra took the seat beside her, her gaze fixed on the instruments. "Our destination is within the Veil, a region dense with subspace anomalies. We'll need to proceed with caution." As we undocked and slipped into the nebula's embrace, the ship responded like a thoroughbred, every movement smooth and precise. The nebula thickened around us, its colors deepening into an ocean of swirling opalescence. The journey was mesmerizing, the Veil's energy creating a kaleidoscope of patterns that danced along the ship's hull. It was as if we were sailing through a living painting, each brushstroke a fragment of the universe's hidden wisdom. Lyra monitored the readouts, her attention unwavering. "We're approaching the epicenter. The energy levels are off the scale." I peered through the viewport, the nebula parting to reveal a vortex of pulsating light, a swirling gateway that beckoned with the promise of revelation and danger. The hairs on my arm stood on end, a visceral reaction to the sheer magnitude of what lay before us. Ella adjusted our course, her focus unyielding. "Hold on, everyone, this might get bumpy." The ship surged forward, drawn into the vortex with a force that defied comprehension. Colors bled into each other, time and space warping as we were enveloped by the Veil's embrace. And then, with a jolt that rattled my bones, we burst through the other side, emerging into a realm unlike any we'd ever seen. It was a universe folded in on itself, a place where stars hung suspended like jewels in a velvet void. "We're through," Lyra confirmed, her voice tinged with awe. "Welcome to the heart of the convergence." The sight was breathtaking, a cosmic landscape where reality shimmered like a mirage, threads of light weaving through the fabric of existence. It was a place of infinite possibility, a testament to the universe's boundless imagination. Griff's voice broke through. "The spell, a mixture of wonder and disbelief. Now that is something you don't see every day." I nodded, my mind racing with questions and theories. This is it, the point where everything converges. Ella's eyes were wide, her disbelief giving way to exhilaration. "So, what do we do now?" Lyra turned to me, her expression both challenging and encouraging. "Now we find out why you were drawn here, why the universe chose you to be part of this." As I looked out at the surreal beauty of the Veil, I felt the weight of destiny settle on my shoulders, a mantle I never expected but now had to carry. The universe had brought us to the edge of understanding, and as we stood at the brink, I knew the next move would define not only our journey but the tapestry of the stars themselves. The stakes were higher than we'd ever imagined, and with the melody of the cosmos thrumming through our veins, we prepared to face the mystery of the veil, a mystery that promised to change everything. Part 8: Awakened Horizons. As we drifted within the surreal expanse of the veil, the ship's sensors hummed with data, the instruments dancing to a rhythm only half understood. The stars hung around us like frozen embers, their distant fires reflecting the pulse of the convergence point, an orchestra of the universe playing a melody that resonated through our bones. Ella piloted our ship with a steady hand, her eyes wide with awe as they traced the filaments of light weaving an intricate lattice across the void. The sight was breathtaking, and the air crackled with a sense of anticipation, as if the veil itself were aware of our presence. "Feels like we've stepped into a cosmic art gallery," she murmured, her voice reverent. I nodded, overcome by the sheer magnitude of it all. A gallery where every piece has a story waiting to be discovered. Beside me, Griff studied the console, his fingers skimming over the controls with practiced ease. This place is alive with energy. Never seen readings like these before. Lyra, absorbed in deciphering the anomalies, glanced up with an expression of profound fascination. The veil is more than a mere location. It's a crucible of creation, where the boundaries of reality bend and warp. Her words hung between us like a gravitic field, pulling us into the mystery. I felt the weight of our purpose here, the promise of revelation whispering in the very fabric of space. "Then let's see what secrets it holds," I said, setting our course deeper into the veil. The ship moved forward, slicing through the tapestry of stars. Each movement felt like a note in a grand symphony, the universe orchestrating our journey with invisible hands. As we traversed the veil, the tapestry began to shift, revealing patterns within patterns, a fractal of existence that hinted at the deeper intricacies of creation. Suddenly the ship shuddered, and alarms blared a chorus of urgent warnings. Griff reacted instantly, fingers dancing over the controls to stabilize our course. What the hell was that? Ella's eyes darted across the monitors, her voice edged with tension. "We've hit an anomaly, a gravitational surge. It's pulling us in." Panic flared, but Lyra's calm presence grounded us. She leaned over the console, analyzing the data with rapid precision. "It's a vortex, a focal point within the veil. We need to adjust our trajectory or risk being swallowed." I gripped the armrest, my mind racing with possibilities. Can we harness it somehow, guide us instead of fight against it? Lyra's gaze sharpened, the hint of a smile tugging at her lips. "That's the idea. If we can align with its harmonic frequency, we might ride the wave through to the other side." Ella's hands flew over the controls, her focus razor-sharp. The ship responded to her command, adjusting its course with a precision that belied the chaotic energy swirling around us. The vortex loomed ahead, a maelstrom of dazzling light and gravity. It was beautiful and terrifying, the kind of sight that seared itself into your soul and changed you forever. "Hold on," I murmured, feeling the ship's structure hum with the energy of the universe. "We're going in." The moment stretched, a heartbeat suspended between eternity and the present. As we entered the vortex, the ship vibrated with a symphonic resonance, the colors of the veil blurring into a kaleidoscope of sensation. And then we emerged, into a realm that defied imagination. The space around us was both infinite and intimate, a place where time flowed like a river through a forest of stars. It was a sanctuary of possibilities, a convergence point where the universe's dreams and realities intertwined. "Unbelievable," Griff breathed, his voice a whisper carried on the cosmic wind. Ella let out a shaky breath, her eyes wide with wonder. "This This is what we're meant to find. Lyra's gaze swept the horizon, her expression one of profound understanding. We've crossed the threshold. This is the heart of the convergence, a nexus where time and space meet. As we drifted through the ethereal landscape, I felt the pull of destiny deepen, the gravity of our journey coalescing into a singular moment of clarity. And then, through the haze of lights, a figure appeared, a being of radiant energy, its form both familiar and alien. It moved with a grace that transcended physicality, its presence filling the space with a warmth that resonated in my very soul. "Welcome, travelers," the figure intoned, its voice a melody within the harmony of the veil. "You have come far, and the path you walk is one of balance and discovery." I stepped forward, feeling the weight of the universe's gaze upon me. "Who are you?" The being's light shimmered, a cascade of colors and emotions. "I am the echo, the voice of the veil. You stand at the crossroads of existence, where the past and future converge, and the truths of the cosmos are revealed." My heart pounded with the enormity of it all, the understanding that we were part of something greater than ourselves, a cosmic dance that had been playing out since the dawn of time. "We're here to learn," I said, my voice steady with purpose. "And so you shall," the echo replied, extending a hand of pure energy toward us. "For in the veil, the lines of reality blur and the answers you seek lie within. Come, let me show you the horizons awakened." As we joined the echo, the universe unfurled its secrets, each revelation a step toward the unknown, a journey that promised to redefine the very essence of what it meant to be alive. The mysteries of the cosmos awaited, and with the veil's symphony guiding us, we embraced the path before us, ready to face whatever wonders lay beyond. Part 9: The Symphony of Stars. The echo led us deeper into the heart of the veil, where the laws of physics gently twisted themselves into new forms and the air shimmered with potential. The surroundings shifted in a continuous dance, revealing glimpses of worlds unseen in the flicker of light and shadow. It felt as though we were walking through the dreams of the universe itself. Ella, Griff, Lyra, and I followed the echo along a path that seemed to form beneath our feet, each step resonating with the hum of energies unseen. The air was thick with the scent of infinity, and the colors around us pulsed to the rhythm of an unending melody, vibrant and alive. "How did all this come to be?" I asked the echo, feeling the question pull at me like a thread in the cosmic tapestry. The echo's form glowed brighter, a radiant smile in the spectrum of its being. "The veil is a convergence point, a place where the energies of the universe meet and mingle. It has existed since the dawn of creation, a living tapestry woven from the threads of time and space." Lyra moved closer, her gaze filled with a hunger for understanding. "Is this what our journey has been leading to? A chance to glimpse the secrets of the cosmos?" "Yes, and more," the echo replied, its voice a gentle caress in the symphony that filled the air. "For every choice you've made, every path you've walked has brought you to this moment. The universe has been waiting for those with open hearts and minds to witness its wonders." We passed through an archway of light, entering a chamber where the very walls seemed to sing. The space was filled with orbs of light, each one containing a fragment of existence, a memory, a possibility, a truth waiting to be discovered. "This is the archive of stars," the echo explained, gesturing to the orbs. "Each one holds a piece of the universe's story, a moment suspended in time." Ella reached out to touch one of the orbs, her eyes widening as a cascade of images flowed through her. A vibrant cityscape under alien skies, the laughter of children echoing through the streets, a celebration of life and unity. "It's beautiful," she breathed, the images lingering in her gaze. a whole world preserved in a single moment. Griff, too, was drawn to an orb, his rough exterior softening as he absorbed the experiences within. A family gathered under a starlit sky, their voices raised in song, the warmth of their joy touching his soul. Lyra watched, understanding dawning in her eyes. These are the echoes of what might be, what once was, the tapestry of reality woven from countless threads. The echo nodded, its form shimmering with approval. You are part of this tapestry, your actions influencing the weave of fate and possibility. Feeling the weight of the universe's story in my hands, I reached for an orb, the light enveloping me in its embrace. My mind filled with visions of the past and future intertwining, a dance of creation and destruction, the eternal cycle of life that played out on a cosmic stage. Why us? I asked, the question a whisper against the eternity surrounding us. Why are we the ones to witness this? The echo's answer was a harmonious chord, resonating with the truth of ages. Because you have chosen to seek, to explore, to understand. The veil calls to those who listen, who dream beyond the confines of what is known. As the visions faded, the orbs dimming to a gentle glow, I felt a deep sense of connection. A bond not only with the universe but with Ella, Griff, and Lyra, and with the countless souls who had come before us. The echo gestured, guiding us toward an aperture of light that beckoned with the promise of new horizons. Your journey is far from over. The universe awaits, its mysteries unfolding with each step you take. We moved as one, the symphony of the veil accompanying us as we stepped through the aperture, emerging into a realm where stars were born and dreams found their voice. Ella's voice was soft, filled with wonder. It feels like we've been given a gift. Griff nodded, his usual stoicism replaced by a quiet awe. A chance to see the universe not just as it is, but as it could be. Lyra's gaze met mine, her eyes shining with understanding and purpose. The symphony of stars, the song that connects us all. As we set our course for the next chapter of our journey, I felt the weight of the unknown lift, replaced by the exhilaration of discovery. We were travelers, explorers in a universe that felt alive and conscious, a symphony composed of light and shadow, hope and uncertainty. And as we sailed into the endless night, the stars sang their eternal song, a melody that promised adventure, wonder, and the chance to shape the future of the galaxy with every step we took into the infinite. Part 10, Threads of Fate. As we sailed away from the archive of stars, the veil's melody continued to echo within us, a celestial song that resonated with the beat of the universe. Each note felt like a whisper of destiny, a reminder that we were part of something far greater than ourselves. Yet, despite the beauty, the haunting refrain of the unknown lingered, a siren call that urged us forward. Our ship glided through the embrace of the infinite, the veil's ethereal glow gradually receding into the backdrop of stars. The environment shifted subtly, the familiar dimensions of space-time reasserting their hold. But the knowledge we carried, the glimpses into the myriad possibilities of existence, left an indelible mark on our souls. Ella sat at the helm, her fingers tracing the controls with an easy grace that belied the complexities of navigation. Her eyes flickered with the light of renewed purpose, the weight of the archive's revelations settling comfortably upon her shoulders. "Any idea where we're headed next?" Griff asked, breaking the contemplative silence that had enveloped us since leaving the veil. I considered the question, feeling the gentle tug of intuition that had guided us thus far. The universe whispered its secrets in the spaces between words and thoughts, and if I listened closely enough, I might discern the path it lay before us. "There's a system not far from here," I said, letting the suggestion drift between us like a shared dream. A place where the threads of fate are said to converge, where past and future find alignment. Lyra nodded, her gaze distant yet sharp with insight. The conclave of scribes. It's a gathering place for those who chart the course of history, a nexus of knowledge and foresight. Griff raised an eyebrow, curiosity piqued. Scribes, you say? Sounds like the kind of place where they guard secrets with more than dusty books and old scrolls. Ella chuckled softly, the sound a balm against the vast unknown. Then it's a good thing we have experience with unraveling mysteries. With our destination set, Ella engaged the hyperdrive, the ship leaping into the void and stars streaking by like shards of light. The journey was smooth, the universe seeming to align with our purpose as we approached the system where the conclave resided. The planet loomed large in the viewport, a vibrant world draped in a cloak of swirling clouds and emerald seas. Its surface was dotted with ancient structures that sparkled in the sunlight, a testament to the civilizations that had come and gone, each leaving their mark in the annals of time. We descended through the atmosphere, the ship's sensors alive with the data of a thriving world. The conclave itself stood on the planet's equator, a sprawling complex that rose like a beacon of enlightenment amidst vast plains of rustling grass. Upon landing, we were greeted by a procession of robed figures, their movements fluid and deliberate. They approached with serene expressions, eyes bright with the light of countless suns. "Welcome, travelers," their leader intoned, a woman whose presence was as commanding as the celestial bodies she studied. "I am Seraphine, keeper of the conclave. We have long awaited your arrival." "Awfully nice of the universe to pencil us in," Griff murmured under his breath, but there was a respect in his tone, a recognition of the reverence that hung in the air. Seraphine gestured for us to follow, leading us through the conclave's winding halls, each lined with tomes and data crystals that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of recorded history. It was a sanctuary of knowledge, a place where the past was preserved so the future might be understood. "Our records are incomplete," Seraphine said, her voice carrying the weight of ages. "The convergence has unsettled the threads of fate, casting shadows where there should be clarity." Ella glanced at a nearby shelf, curiosity lighting her features. "And you think we can help? Your journey through the veil has aligned you with the cosmic symphony. You carry insights that may restore the balance," Seraphine replied, turning to face us with an expression of earnest hope. We continued deeper into the conclave until we reached a grand chamber, an observatory where the very walls seemed to dissolve into the starry abyss. The ceiling was a tapestry of constellations, each one a chapter in the story of existence. Seraphine approached a central console, its surface awash with holographic projections of timelines and possibilities. "Here, we chart the flow of time, interpreting its currents to guide our actions. But recently, the patterns have become erratic, as if an unseen hand is weaving its own design." Lyra stepped forward, her eyes sharp with focus. "The anomalies, their energy resonates with the echoes of what you've recorded. It's a distortion, a disharmony that echoes beyond the boundaries of time." I felt the gravity of our task settle upon us, the enormity of the challenge both daunting and exhilarating. The conclave had become a crucible, a place where the threads of fate were being spun anew. "We'll do what we can to help," I said, a quiet determination in my voice. "The universe has brought us this far, let's see where it leads." As we worked together to unravel the mysteries that lay before us, I felt the unity of purpose binding us tighter than ever. We were part of a cosmic dance, entwined with the fabric of the universe, our actions resonating throughout the tapestry of time. The threads of fate stretched ahead, a path of infinite possibilities, and as we stepped forward, the echoes of the stars guided our way, promising adventure, revelation, and the courage to face whatever lay beyond the horizon.